CFB Prime, Nino Brown, Urban Meyer continues to drop them nuggets. Could Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. stay in college football another year to avoid Arizona? The next generation in college football is here. The pedigree is high. On this episode of Blow the Damn Whistle.
Some of you in the room right now, you are where you are, you're giving 60% when you have 120 in you. Why? Because you've never made a decision. There's those of you in this room, you already there. Your problem is this is stuff you don't want to give up to go. Listen to me, pound for pound, any agent in the room, pound for pound, motivational speaker, pound for pound, entrepreneur, pound for pound, athlete, pound for pound, weightlifter, pound for pound, whatever you do, I guarantee you when you do it, nobody can do it like you do it. The problem is you don't hardly do it.
CFB Prime, we back with another episode. Get ready to go down a rabbit hole with me. We're going to go down this rabbit hole. We're going to be talking about Urban Meyer continuing to drop these nuggets, right? The 58-year-old, three-time national champion, NFL flop head coach always has a strategic plan when he speaks. It's not about the last move. It's about the next move. Now, first of all, a few weeks ago, we made comments about Texas having the best roster in football, and I told you then it was a nugget, and it's grown into being a nugget. Why? Well, I'll give you a little refresher. I'm pretty sure Urban knows how to shake it up. Putting out there that Texas has the best roster in football instantly shakes up Austin. Like the deep pockets and the boosters in Austin start thinking, yeah, you are right, Urban. We do have the best roster in football. And why isn't Shock winning? I mean, he comes with baggage, but he did win 3 natties. And I'm pretty sure the rival team down the road in College Station wouldn't mind having something that maybe they could steal away from Texas. You know, pretty sure their pockets pretty fat and deep, and they could sure pay out a buyout. And we know Jimbo's got a much larger buyout than Shock. Now think for a second. Sit back, take a sip of your drink, have a bite of your snack. Could you imagine a Longhorns team, Urban Meyer as the head coach, either Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning at QB, Xavier Worthy, Isaiah Neymar, Jonte Cooks running around at wide receiver? He built a Florida Gators football team on pure speed to be hella fast and have talent. And they won a natty. So now we found another nugget, an opportunity. We could drop another golden nugget, an Easter egg, we may say. This one falls in line with our boy Nicky Saban and James Franklin, Hugh Freeze, Captain Irrelevant, Eli Drinkwater. It's called NIL. And the words out of Urban Meyer's mouth, I damn near fell out of my seat when I read them. He comes with, I mean, isn't it a fancy word for stealing? Urban Meyer is part of the foundation which handles the NIL collectives for Ohio State football and basketball players. Why are you talking? I get it. You want to throw your hand in the bunch. Okay. But when you're involved in it, there's a saying about people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. I feel like I keep saying this because these higher powers that be, they're forgetting, They only see, they got Tiger Woods' vision, tunnel vision. His vision is to get back, to be relevant again. Why not get back in them same convos as those respected big-name head coaches of college football? Why not say, I'll go against the grain. I'll go with the head coaches, and maybe they'll like me a little more because I'll take the heat off them. I haven't been in the best limelight lately. I haven't been that guy that everybody wants to talk about. But maybe, just maybe, if I have their back, when the opportunity comes for me, maybe they'll have my back. But there's one thing that I know for sure. within the next 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks, there's going to be another Easter egg from Urban Meyer. There'll be another nugget because Urban Meyer always has a plan. He may not be the nicest coach in the world. He may not be the nicest speaking coach when it comes to these kids. But there's one thing that is a positive for Urban Meyer, especially when it comes to college football. Is Urban Meyer knows how to win from the ground up. He did it at Utah, he did it at Florida, and he did it at Ohio State. Urban Meyer's been out for a little bit, and his name hasn't been ringing any bells. But I'm telling you, the nuggets, the seeds, they're planting. The weather's getting warm, the rain is out there, the seeds are growing. Urban Meyer has a plan. Now, let's talk about something that you're all going to think I'm crazy about. But could there be a plan or a hidden agenda? Could Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. stay another season to avoid the whatever may be going on in Arizona? Now, I know this is a college football show, so some of you may not be interested in the NFL, but stay with me. Grab a snack, grab a drink, stay with me for just a few minutes, and we'll be right back to that college football talk. I know, this seems like a super far-fetched, thought right out the gate, but I need you guys to all channel your inner Perry Mason skills and dive into this. And just maybe, when I'm all done talking to you, it won't seem as far-fetched. Now, the Arizona Cardinals are locked in a $230 million, $159 million guaranteed contract with Kyler Murray, who's coming off an ACL surgery and a Call of Duty clause in its extension. And that contract is eating up a very large portion of their salary cap. The next highest paid player on the team is Budda Baker at $59 million for 4 years. He's got $33 million guaranteed, expires in 2025, and he's already saying he wants out. Trade me. Put that on the cap. Leave that one for later. On the offense, it doesn't have many experienced weapons locked up for the future. Zach Ertz is 32. He's been battling health injuries. They drafted Trey McBride to replace him, but we all know tight ends take 2-3 years before they develop. James Conner's had health injuries. He's never had a full season playing at running back. He's 28. And they brought in Hollywood Brown, who was supposed to be Kyler Murray's guy because they played together at OU. They haven't really done anything to lock him in. And with D-Hop leaving and hitting them with a $22 million dead cap hit, you would think they would be trying to lock up Hollywood Brown. But he's only got one more year after this season. So we'll see what happens. Their youth core consists of Rondell Moore, who's 22, Trey McBride was 23, Keontae Ingram was 23, Amari DiMercato, who was an undrafted free agent, who's 23, Greg Dortch, 25, on a 1-year, $1 million deal, and recently drafted Stanford wide receiver Michael Wilson, who's 23. Why would either one of them gentlemen want to go to Arizona? Now, there's a knock at the door. Here enters Kliff Kingsbury, the ex-head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. The guy who went on every social media platform and said, I got plenty of money. I don't need to rush anything. I'm going on vacation, fellas. I'll see you later. And then in about 3 to 4 weeks, Cliffy boy decided to show up in SoCal to help the QBs and Caleb Williams. Well, wouldn't that be the perfect bleep to the Arizona Cardinals to convince Caleb Williams to stay one more year and avoid possibly the top 2 picks? Lincoln Riley says to Kliff, psst, you got to convince Caleb to stay another year. Well, Lincoln, that's not a bad idea with the way the draft's going last year. And that dumpster fire that's there. Plus, yeah, I know, Kliff. It would be nice to have Caleb in the Big Ten next year for the crossover. I get it. Lincoln, you got it with the boosters. Shit, they damn near bought you 3 houses. Tell him he's a generational talent, which he is. especially if he wins back-to-back Heismans, which he really possibly could. Tell him up to that NIL money. Give him the bag. We can do it. Kliff, it's not a bad idea. You keep telling him how bad it is in Arizona and come on board, and I'll get after them boosters. Why would he want to go to a situation that would put him in a bad situation? Could be 2 or 3 years before he could possibly reach his potential. Or he could come back. Win back to coming off possibly winning back-to-back Heismans, going to a new conference, leading a high-powered offense in a conference that really just runs the ball. Could Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams do something that other coach QBs have never done? Could they rewrite some history books? It's possible. But that's something they're going to have to dangle in front of him, especially if he goes off. But he could go to the Big Ten. What would it be like if he was possibly back to back to back Heisman Trophy winner or even candidate? What would happen if UFC went to the top of the Big Ten in the first year? It's something to think about. I know when you first heard me talk, you probably thought I was crazy. But now it doesn't really seem super crazy because Arizona has to do matrix type math to make everything work in their favor. And I don't know if the powers that be in Arizona can do that type of math. And I don't know if Caleb Williams wants to take the red or the blue pill. So, in my eyes, I think it's a very good possibility that he returns. Winning a natty, winning a Heisman, or not. Now, let's talk about the new generation, the new pedigree that's coming in college football. I'm 40, been watching college football a long time. I don't think I've ever seen this much trickle down pedigree in college football ever. You got Antonio Gage Jr. He's the shiny new toy of Michigan State. He had that big catch in the spring game. We all know about his dad was a legit top tight end in the NFL for San Diego Chargers for a long, long time. Another kid coming in and filling daddy's shoes is Cole Pennington, QB for Marshall. Yeah, his dad was Chad Pennington, QB for Marshall. Also was a QB for New York Jets in the NFL for a few years. Jackson Sermon, linebacker in Cal. His father, Peter Sermon, linebacker in the Pac-12 and in the NFL. Frank Gore Jr. Do we need to say anything about Frank Gore Jr.? Mr. Swiss Army Knife himself, catches touchdowns, runs for touchdowns, throws touchdowns. His daddy did it in the NFL for almost 20 years. Eden James, running back out of Howard. That's Edgar and James' son. Another pedigree running back. E.J. Smith out of Stanford. Emmett Smith, top running back ever in the NFL. That's his kid. Now, he had an injury last year in 2 games, though. He flashed. 2 games, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Damn near 7 yards per carry. Fully healthy. Would love to see what E.J. Smith can do in the Pac-12, especially this year. It's wide open. Another E.J., that's E.J. Warner, quarterback for Temple. The name's popping, right? That's Kurt Warner. That's his dad. Now, Kurt Warner's son played for Kansas State last year. He went to, the NFL this year. He got drafted. I think he got signed as a UDFA, but he made it to the NFL, right? As a freshman, EJ threw for 3,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, won himself Rookie of the Year in the American Conference. Everybody knows Shedeur Sanders, right? Primetime son, Colorado, Jackson State transfer. You got Donald Driver, his son, Christian Driver, DB out of Penn State. That's back-to-back years of pedigree in NFL. You had Joey Porter Jr., who was a DB there. Obviously, his father played for Pittsburgh. You got Christian Harris, DB for Tennessee. That's Rodney Harrison's son. And then my guy, Mason Taylor, tight end for LSU. He had 38 receptions, 400 yards. And he's the son of Miami Dolphins edge rushing great Jason Taylor. I just rattled off to you about 10 guys. And there's a few other ones out there. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr., he's that dude. Almost 80 receptions, 1,300 yards. We saw what he could do in the college playoff. You all know. The pedigree's high. It's a great time for college football. I'm glad you guys are on this journey, this rabbit hole with me on college, CFB Prime and this college football journey. You know the deal. Mondays and Tuesdays at CFB Prime on CFB Nation is part of a T2T network. I'm Nino Brown. Blow the damn whistle.